All right, so on Monday, we briefly talked about annotated bibliographies, but for this sound slide, I want to walk you through those specific elements again, just so you can be clear about the homework assignment for Monday. So in brief, when we're talking about annotated bibliographies, what they are is it's a great research tool for you and for your audience. What it is it includes more than just the basic citation information. So although each annotated bibliography entry will include the citation, as you've been doing for your Unit 3 paper, it also helps to summarize and explain the sources that you've listed. In addition to that, it also helps you by thinking through those sources that you found and how they relate to your thesis or your main argument. In essence, it lets your reader know a little bit about the sources you're using, so not only the summary of that source, but also how you've evaluated that source as well. So again, what do annotated bibliographies do? It shows that you've done the research to back up your argument, which is the most important in order to establish your ethos. It also allows the readers to go back to the original source and to examine your interpretation or citation. So again, it's taking it a step further than just providing the citation, but also letting the reader know how helpful it was for your thesis. It also fills the reader in on this subject, since you are now the expert on this subject or what your topic is, and how that reader can use this to inform themselves on some of the basics of that argument. So keep this in mind in terms of what a good annotated bibliography does. First, it encourages you to think critically about your source. So again, what that means is you're able to place that source into the context of the larger conversation that you're talking about and situates it in relation to your thesis. So again, how does it relate to your main argument? Again, it also proves that you've done the legwork and that you've established your ethos as a competent researcher. And third, it provides information to help other researchers decide if your research can benefit them or not. So very quickly, there's 3 main steps to annotated bibliographies. For the first step is writing the summary portion. So after the citation, be sure to include a brief summary of the article, the book or journal or whatever publication you're looking at or article you're looking at to let the reader know the general premise of the source. It should also address the main arguments or the points of the text. So in other words, what topics are covered in the article. If someone were to ask you about what the source is about, what would you just say verbally rather than just reading from the book or from the article? Again, this should be something in your own words, so you should not be using any quotes within the summary portion. Okay, so the second part is the assessment. What this is it should be the second portion of your annotated bibliography or an entire second paragraph. And this is where you're going to be evaluating the source. What you can do is go back to our Kapow strategy. So remember we talked about things like the currency of the article. When was it published? What wording or what's the writing style being used? Was this source useful for you? How does it relate to your other sources that you found? Is the source biased or objective, or does it leave anything out that you think would be pertinent? And for the third portion of your annotated bibliography is the reflection paragraph. This is when you should think about and answer some of these following questions. How does this source shape your argument? Or in other words, does it support or refute your thesis? Does it help to narrow or broaden your argument? How do you see yourself using this source in the paper? Also, has it changed your thoughts on the topic? Has it changed the way in which you are thinking about your thesis? So again, this is taking it a step further than just assessing that source in terms of the source's currency and authority and things like that, but also reflecting back to the bigger picture of your argument. All right, and so just to follow up, the sources that I use in this PowerPoint that are really helpful are listed below, which you can pause at this point and access through the OWL Purdue website and also through the Consortium Library website. So again, hopefully this is just walking you through what those annotated bibliography entries include and what they should look like.